What's up, Algo friends? Welcome back to the Algorand, HBAR, and other crypto news live stream. I'm your host, FrugalBC. We'll be talking about all kinds of news from both HBAR, Algorand space, some other crypto space. We are live on YouTube and on Kick, so you can watch us on either place. Welcome to all our YouTube viewers out there and to everyone who's watching on Kick. If you're on Kick, leave me a message because I have yet to get a message on Kick, so I appreciate that if you wouldn't mind. And I also have a very important announcement today that you are going to see very soon. So keep an eye on the channel and we will make that announcement a little later. My shirt might be a hint. I don't know if the color of my shirt hints at it at all what the announcement will be. I've actually talked about it elsewhere, so some of you probably know. And we're going a little earlier than today just because I've got some stuff to do tonight. And given the response so far, I think maybe I'll switch to this time. We'll see. It's a little difficult, but not impossible. So let's talk a little bit about what we got today. Interesting story about the number of code commits being done on blockchains. Algorand doing very well in that report. So we will talk about that. Little error in my newsletter. And by the way, you guys should sign up for my newsletter. Lots of good stuff to get there, and it's completely free. FrugalBC.substack.algo. I actually talked about the whole chain partnership, and that's kind of old, so we'll skip that one. Still a good thing for the ecosystem for sure. Also, I'm going to go through the good and the bad of Townstar. And I'm going to talk about Champions Arena, which I meant to take a screen grab of, and then I forgot. So sorry about that. But actually, the game from Gala Games is the new game from Gala Games, Champions Arena, is actually really good. It's solid. It's working. It's fun. So we'll talk about that. I think that's really neat. And if you're not XGov'd yet, well, we can tell you some stuff that's going on at XGov. I think it's really interesting. So we will cover that as well. Otherwise, I hope everyone is doing well out there. Kick says I have 2 viewers. It always says I have 2 viewers. I don't know if I actually have any viewers on Kick, but it's kind of fun to think about. Also, I got some of you guys, if you guys watch the stream a lot, you know that a lot of times my battery on my camera runs out for the live stream. Well, I finally got one of those new battery packs that plugs right into the camera, so you can just have continuous power. It's kind of funny because it's pretty obvious that it's not built for it because the actual device is like a little battery with a cord coming out of it. So, but it works. It's working really well. So hope everyone out there is good today. I'm going to look at I already got some chats. Cool. Lots of chats. Every day. Algona, what's going on, brother? See, this time actually allows people from Europe to watch it too. So maybe that's the way I got to go. Nico P, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Wawaha says, hello, sir. Will Algorand be a good investment and how high will it go? Well, that's a good question. Actually, I'm working on a price prediction video right now. What I will say is at its current price of right behind me here, you can see it's at about 9.9 cents, a little higher than 9 cents, closing in on 10 cents. That will surely increase in the bull run if everything goes according to the bull run. If it doesn't, then all crypto is kind of screwed. I'm not sure what happens if next year we don't get a bull run like we're supposed to, so I'll answer that right away. Melmon Speed says, hello all, how's your summer going? Cool. Welcome to the channel, Mel. Appreciate you tuning in. So yeah, way better. We really got good participation already. Maybe I'll have to move the live stream time. But welcome everybody. Get to my announcement pretty soon in just a second, but for now, yeah, so a little bit of housekeeping. Well, yeah, let's just get to the announcement. So the housekeeping is these guys are now my sponsors. They are now, as of starting in September, they will be sponsoring the channel. And it's really, really cool to have them on board. I'm a big fan of NFT. I have a .algo address myself, FrugalBC.algo, which is in my description below, or actually in the bottom corners. You can see it on your screen. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I love what they're doing. They don't have a token, which I like. That makes me much more confident as a creator to support them because I don't have to worry about the token price crashing and everyone calling me a scammer or a shill or something. NFT, they're just building a solid company. They build a business, and they have a business where you can support them by buying things from their company. So I'm a big fan of NFT. Welcome to the channel, guys. Glad to have you on board. We do have an interview with John Mazzoni. You can look that up on my channel. I think that's under the live tab. I think you'll find that under the live tab. I should make a separate interviews channel. I want to start doing more of those too. I want to start doing more interviews. Well, let's see. First, we will go to the charts. Let's see what we got going on here on CoinMarketCap. We already talked a little bit about Algorand's price, but what I'm guessing we're still in fear territory. Yes, we are. 35 on the Fear Greed Index. As Warren Buffett says, now would be the time to buy, usually, because usually when everyone's fearful, that's when you want to be greedy. And right now, these are good prices to be greedy, folks. I mean, if you believe that the Bitcoin cycle, the 4-year cycle, is going to continue as it always has, and there's no guarantee of that, by the way. I just want to make that clear. There's no guarantee of that. So be mindful. This is an investment. I always keep, first off, to start off with, most of my investment is in boring old index funds, and that's my solid base that I know that will go up over time. I'm not worried about that. So then I have extra money to play around with in crypto and in single stocks. I talked about Nvidia today, why I invested in Nvidia. I think it's a great tool. I think it's a great company. They are basically have a monopoly on AI right now. They're the only ones building the GPUs that can really handle handle AI. So, and they just posted earnings, and the earnings were through the roof. So I had a relative tell me I was insane for that, by the way. And that was 2 months ago, and I'm way up on my Nvidia. I'm very happy with it. But I'm not doing that short term. I just want to keep investing in Nvidia because they have a history of winning. Anyway, BNB doing okay on the 7-day. Not much action. In other words, we're sideways in a lot of ways. A few up. Cardano up a little bit. We can talk about a post I made about Cardano versus Algorand. That went over well. Dogecoin up a little bit. Everything is either down a little bit like Solana or up a little bit like Tron or Polkadot. Polkadot doing okay. Toncoin pumping up at 11% on the week. I always like to go by the weekly, by the way. Shiba Inu about 4%. Litecoin down a little bit. Bitcoin Cash up. Yeah, everything is just down or up a little bit. Some of these not even really worth commenting on too much. Just looking for outliers. Oh, HBAR down 8.8% on the week. Now might be a good time to buy in. I personally think anything 5 to 8 cents is going to be a good buy, in my opinion. That's what I'm looking at personally. ICP just kind of holding. Still, by the way, Hedera is still at number 30 on CoinMarketCap, so that one's been holding solid. And bummer to see, we got near up about 5% on the week. So nice to see it climbing back in the other direction. It was at 115, I think, the last video we did. However, still at number 40. Near was always in the top 40, higher up in the 30s, and now it's been 40 for a while. But I remember time when Algorand was there as well. And as you can see, they're not there. Algorand hitting number 45, up 2%. We saw the chart back here, and we'll dive in a little deeper, but not, it's the bear market. We expect everything to be doing kind of poorly, but Algorand has fallen a lot. From when I first started covering Algorand, it was always in the top 25. And now it's fallen down to 45. It's not good to see. Some people saying it's dead. I don't think it's dead, but I don't necessarily love everything they're doing. Now look at Tezos popping back up into the top 50. So Tezos is really interesting. I was a big fan of Tezos back in the day. Really good project, I think. They were one of the first ones to offer staking on Coinbase, which is, I think, why I got into it. But I have to relook at Tezos and just see how they've been doing lately at some point. Sandbox rounding out the top 50 with Metaverse. Metaverse stuff is interesting. I'm still fairly, I would say, bearish on Metaverse projects, just because I think the rug's starting to pop out from them. I think the rug's disappearing because I think a lot of people are just realizing they essentially become a cash grab for everybody else. Or sorry, they become a cash grab for the companies, but they're not actually making money themselves. It's just a way for them to make some of these games way more expensive than they would be otherwise. Yeah, I just want to look at the Algorand chart here really quick. I know it's up behind me as well, but let's just see what we're looking at. So we've had a little pump up after falling a bit more, but we haven't been at 10 cents for a while since we had that big drop back. How long ago was that? Wasn't that long ago, was it? That was around the 18th, it looks like. 17th, 18th. Yeah, 17th. 17th of August, we had a huge crash down, and it's kind of stuck there. Coop is up a little teeny bit after falling quite a bit. I know a lot of people were talking about that. XNFT down. I don't know what that is really. Opportunity. I don't know about that. There's always new ones on here, and as far as I'm concerned, it's their job to make me aware of them, not vice versa. I think most of them are just. If you guys listen to my show a lot, and some of you might be new, I think ASAs are a giant liability, and if you put money into them, be ready for it to be gone. Just be ready for it to be completely gone. It may not go to 0-0, but it'll go pretty close. Some of them. Some improve. It's a big bet, but definitely don't put anything into any of these projects that you can't afford to lose. Chips up a little bit on the day, up on the week. DeFi token falling a bit. I'm still a big fan of DeFi and their wallet. Opulus up. Opulus has been really doing well lately. If there's one coin that might buck the trend that I'm talking about, maybe two, I would say Chips and Opulus have just consistently done pretty well. Vestige, weird, it says it's down. It's in the red, but it looks like it's up on the week. That's really strange, because if you look at the starting point on the left and the ending point on the right, it's way up. So I don't know what I'm missing there. Yeah, Coop up actually quite a bit on the week after. I know it dropped a lot and people were pretty upset. Dharma Network really climbing recently. Gora is an oracle on Algorand. I've had people say, like, this one too, Voltcoin. Look, it looks like it's up, but it says red. I don't understand it. Go-Mint down. Kita Inu way up. Yeah, speaking of, what was I going to talk about? I don't remember. Something about Gora being an oracle on Algorand, but yeah, so that's that. And then let's see what Chain Trail has to say, and then we'll look at some of your comments. I really like Chain Trail. I'd like to do a partnership with them at some time, because they're really doing well. Looks like Travel X is still in the top. Is that the top? Let me go. That's real time. Let me go to the leaderboard, because that's a little more. This is for the whole week. Planet Watch taking the top spot there with 19% of the activity and 68,000 transactions, followed by Fractal Monsters, which I might have him on the channel pretty soon. I think we'd have a good conversation. Not necessarily, it'd be friendly, but I think we'd have a nice debate on Web3 gaming. TravelX also doing well. If you guys don't know what TravelX, I think a lot of you probably do, but TravelX is really crushing it on Algorand. They are minting NFTs for airline tickets. So Flybondi, which is a South American airline, all their tickets are being minted as NFTs. And Apply Blockchain, which is an Oracle, and then Zone Gaming is the next as on number 5. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We should find I wonder if there's one like this for HBAR. I'd really like to get one of those. All right, let's see what you have to say. All right, I'm gonna have to pull it up on 17. I got a good number today. Let me just pull up the stream on here, because my streamer, it's a long story, but it crashes sometimes. I don't know if the paid version, I'm actually thinking about using the paid version. Let's see, can I see the chat? I cannot. I have to go through the commercial. Well, I'll go back. Dustin here, and welcome to the show, Dustin. Taco Coin loves you, Frugal. Someday I'd love to serve you tacos in real life. You know what? I like eating tacos, so I'm cool with that. Oh, here, now I can see the Now I can see the stream. Everyday Algorand says chart is on Vestige, goes from algo price. 24-hour difference goes from USD value price. That's why the chart does not correlate. I see. That makes sense. See, I wish they would just include the 7-day percentage, because to me that's a better indication than just daily, especially since we cover things week to week. I really wish Vestige would. I really wish they would put the 7-day percentage on there. That's something I've been talking about for a long time on this channel. Mel Monspeet says, lately I've been talking with devs in Algorand, and there are many who think that chains can do be done more efficiently without them. Are you talking about the Mel? Are you talking about the ASAs? Because yeah, I've had someone pretty prominent in the Algorand space tell me that they did not think that anybody needed to have no project really needed a token. I think that's probably true for most of them. Red Star, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. It says, if you like NVIDIA, it'd be interesting to know your opinion on, is that render? I haven't looked into that much, so I don't really know, but I might have to look into that. Chana, oh boy, sorry, man, I'm gonna, or woman, I'm not sure. I'm gonna butcher your name. I apologize. Chana Kianiti. Welcome to the show. Sorry, I'm not better at pronouncing your name, but it says, do you think quantum resistance blockchains like Algorand will do great in the upcoming bull run? Let's hope so. I think that aspect is really, really interesting. The idea of quantum computer attacks, and Algorand so far has secured the first stage in that, from what I understand. So they got a little ways to go, but I think that's really, really interesting. Everyday Algonaut responded because he says distributed consistent data storage is quite difficult to be done without blockchain. Very interesting. Did I get it? Oh, did I actually get it right? Oh, Dustin is asking about sponsorship. Well, we can talk off air if you're interested in that. We will talk about that. Trying to see what else I might have missed. I'm not used to having this many comments. So, Richard Harris says, still winter of our discontent. Yeah. I actually have the fun fact. I actually have a first edition copy of Steinbeck's Winter of Our Discontent. Oh, we'll be talking about XGov. We'll be getting to that. But first, I want to share this little tidbit. This came from Polkadot Insider. So this was not an Algorand account. However, the account talks about Algorand and actually looks really, really good for Algorand, because we're talking about code commits, which shows how much is being built on a blockchain. So let's take a look. So this is from Polkadot Insider. This is not an Algorand account. They give insightful analytics, latest news, golden opportunities for community of the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. I don't know much about Kusama, but sounds interesting. Top 10 blockchains by code commits variation in 30 days. Unveiling the movers and shakers in the blockchain space. Find out the top 10 blockchains that have witnessed the most dynamic code commit variation in the last 30 days. Innovation is in full swing as these projects drive the evolution of Web3, and Polkadot is on the list with over 26% growth. Find out more below. Well, so this obviously is what I'm getting messages. So this is the top 10 blockchains by code commit variation. Code commits variation in 30 days. I will be 100% honest. I don't fully know what that is. I do know what a code commit is, roughly, although if you asked me to define it, I'd probably stumble. Let's be honest. I know a little bit about coding, but seems like a good thing. Anyway, XBLA is at the very top of that, followed by Arweave, then Algorand, then Aptos, then Polkadot. Look at Algorand, 43.7%. Now, this is obviously touting Polkadot at 26%, but Algorand is actually quite a bit higher at 43.7%. Then Kusama, then Cardano, then Near Protocol, followed by Fanter and Stellar. So nice to see Near up there. Actually, a little surprised not to see Hedera up there anywhere, but maybe it's maybe that doesn't apply to them because they're a little bit different. They're not exactly a blockchain, so maybe that's why they're not on there. I'm not sure. I don't want to make any speculations because I just don't know. I think that's really, really cool. Nice to see Algorand getting the shout out like this. And then, yeah, of course, Michael Jordan, friend of the channel, says, build on Algorand today. It looks like AlgoKit is making waves. Yeah, that's a really good point from Michael, by the way, because AlgoKit, that was a big project that John Woods undertook when he came on board with the Algorand Foundation. And I think that's going to make a huge difference because the thing you want most is you want it to be easy to build on your chain. So this led me to say, I don't know, maybe Cardano ought to be a side chain of Algorand. Chain's actually being built on. I know I was being tongue in cheek. I was trying to cause a little bit of mischief. And mischief it did cause. Louis.Pi said we should have partner chain, but are you implying there's nothing being built on Cardano? Laugh, laugh. Not really, but I was trying to cause some trouble. Partner sounds better, but I never said anything. I never said nothing is being built. I know y'all keep building. It's weird because I think he was talking to me, but that's cool. I just think it's funny. Algorand doesn't need Cardano, though it scales fine. That is true. Joe Timer said, yeah, I don't know about the sidechain business. Cardano can become an ASA and would benefit everyone without the downside. And Cardano isn't, says this person. Finally regains top development activity slot as the only project with 500 plus daily submissions. So yeah, and I realized I was being snotty. I get it. But it's just so easy. People get so attached to their chains. And I really think I tried to be somewhat chain agnostic and just look at what's being built on it, how solid is it, and what's the community like. The community in Algorand's kind of disappointed about a lot of stuff right now, and I get that. I understand that. There's some real disappointment. We're seeing a lot of projects go under. It's kind of a sad time. It's tough. Bear markets are tough. So, but if you believe in the chain, you think a chain has good value, could Algorand, not make it? It's possible. Anything's possible. Hedera might not make it either. I think both of them are probably going to emerge out of the bull market. I think Hedera is probably going to do a little stronger in price, but I think Algorand will certainly improve its price from where it is, and I can't imagine it not being a good buy at this point. It's certainly the thesis I'm taking for my own investments anyway, and the fact that it's still being built on a lot, that makes me happy. You want to see progress. I don't like when I see coins and all the talk is just about price. Algorand, I mean, there's some of that. It's always going to be that in any blockchain, but when you see more stuff coming up about actual projects and partnerships, that stuff makes me happy. So keep that in mind. And I also think you should invest multi-chain. Why put all your eggs in one basket? That's a huge liability. Who knows what's really going to pump? That's my thoughts. Okay. Still got some people, not as many. That's okay. Well, I can't even keep up with the chat today. Everyday Algonaut says, have you noticed that Dojo is stepping down from the Pac-Fi team? I actually heard a couple people were. I haven't had a chance to really dig into that, but we will definitely be looking at that. I actually heard its two co-founders either had stepped down or would be stepping down. But I saw that very briefly, so I don't want to cover it in too much depth until I can be sure. But interesting stuff. All right, I'm going to take a drink of water here. By the way, friendly reminder, if you have not hit the like button, I would really appreciate that. We have 6 likes. I think we can get that up to 10, don't you? If you just wouldn't mind hitting that button and You don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. That's all we need. Actually, maybe it's higher now. I should refresh here. And if you are watching on Kick, and I don't know how many of you are watching on Kick, but feel free to leave me some kind of indication that you're watching, because I really want to start growing my audience over there as well. All right, what else we got? So a lot of you guys remember that we did a story on India and Algorand. Algorand made a big partnership with India last year, including one of its biggest tech hubs. Well, now Hedera is actually making a giant push into India with a new tour called Bharat Blockchain Yatra, and that translates to Indian Blockchain Tour. And they're going to be making 25 stops, extolling the transition from hype to solutions. I like that, by the way. That's really great, particularly on the Hedera digital ledger technology. The tour is actually supposed to reach 500,000 developers in India eventually, with like 50,000 so far. Let me see if I can find something, because I did not include a link. That was not smart of me. I think I'm a little off my game. Oh yeah, here it is. So big shout out first off to Coinman, the H Barbarian, which is a great name. I love that, by the way. It says there will be a huge influx of developers coming to Hedera Hashgraph HBAR over the coming months as a result of the 7-month India government-backed blockchain tour, which is interesting because technically Hedera is not a blockchain, but you get the idea. We talk about it in the same space. It's a digital ledger technology, which is slightly different. Props to, which I think something about that, I've said this all along, something about that the major tech companies around really like, because they've all signed up to be on their Hedera, on their governing council. It's actually pretty amazing. All right, so this is from Pawan Anand. This is, Indians like me can understand how big this Bharat blockchain Yatra powered by Hedera is going to be. Initially 50,000, later to be 5 million developers will be joining to learn Hashgraph tech supported by the All India Council for Technical Education. This is the first kind of tech tour on Web3, first of its kind tech tour on Web3 blockchain, narrating India's blockchain story, the shift from hype to value. Yeah, I like that, because I think this is where stuff like crypto really emerges and comes into its own, when it shifts from just being all about hype and meme coins and stuff, and actually providing real world value, which it is a lot now. Actually, there's a lot of that going on. MasterCard had its own blockchain, basically had a private blockchain. Blockchain technology is actually very valuable, and a lot of companies use it, especially for supply chains. I was talking about this with Wholecoin before. Not Wholecoin, what was it called? Or did I get that right? Wholechain, which is for supply chains. The blockchain actually allows people to keep accurate track of where the stuff is, which is really hard to do otherwise. So it's 25 events across 18 states in India. This will happen between August, so it started, through February 2024. Join us as we explore the transformative power of blockchain technology in both fintech and non-fintech sectors, from programmable money and payments to capital markets and digital asset tokenization, from manufacturing, supply chains. Remember how I mentioned supply chains and logistics, to energy and sustainability, from e-governance to entertainment and media, And beyond, we will delve deep into a myriad of verticals, 200 plus speakers, 100 plus topics and ideas, and 50,000 participants initially. They're expecting eventually to reach 500,000 developers in India. And I think this is really interesting because we talked about how Algorand was also making this play into India and building some partnerships there to really grow the ecosystem. I think India is a great place to do it. You're going to reach a lot of developers there. You have a lot of base to work from, and I think it can really benefit the Indian people. So I think Hedera is smart in doing this. I think Algorand was also smart in doing this. Now, who will win? Who will win in India? Maybe it doesn't have to be a win. Maybe they both can be major players in India. But I think it's really cool that both these chains that I like a lot, and I'm just referring to them as chains to have a good way to like compare them or talk about them. I know technically Hedera isn't a blockchain, but I think both of these chains are good solid projects. They both do good things, and they will both be very, very useful for the Indian technology sector. So shout out to Hedera for recognizing that, as well as shout out to Algorand for making the announcement that they did as well. Everyday Algonaut says this just means Algorand even more needs the open source AMN with concentrated liquidity. Yeah, we will be getting to Xgov pretty soon. In fact, I'll just skip to it now. Why not? Let's see here. Let's skip ahead a little bit. So as a lot of you probably know, voting for Xgov is live right now. You can go do it on the Xgov site, on the Algorand Foundation's website, and just to look at, I'm going to look at how things are going so far, what is actually in Xgov, what you're voting on, and maybe give some of my thoughts at the end. So what's really interesting here is that a lot of these are actually already funded. And as you can see, they all require a different number of votes. Transaction Builder UI by No Cash only asked for one algo. This was just an online tool that meant to be easy and user-friendly way to create just about any transaction on Algorand. So are they just using this for marketing? Because they only asked for one algo. I think that's super interesting. He says, let's see, creating or sending a transaction on Algorand without an existing tool for that particular type of transaction requires using an SDK or Go, which requires programming knowledge and or node setup. Just about every wallet makes simple payment transactions easy. However, many of the more advanced transactions are either difficult or impossible within the wallet's UIs. This creates a large gap where a non-programmer user cannot conveniently use many of Algorand's more advanced features. The purpose of the Transaction Builder UI is to fill this gap. Sounds like a good thing. I wonder why they only asked for one algo. That's really, really interesting. Evil Tools by Joseph Glenn is already funded. They have already developed a slew of no-code tools to carry out monotonous processes on the Algorand blockchain, allowing users with no coding experience to work efficiently and easily. I like that. Like mass mint, mass updater tools, mass asset add, mass asset send, and a lot of other stuff. They asked for 10,000 algo, and they are. Yeah, it looks like they got it. It's passed. As is, two different wallets. One called A Wallet, and one called Liquid Glass. And A Wallet asked for 10,000 algo. Liquid Glasses, unnamed wallet, 6100 algo, 6101 technically. I guess it's meant to, unnamed wallet is meant to give users pseudonymity, and it's open sourced. And the other one that was passed already is the ASA stats point in time, which is a tax reporting reference for US citizens. Well, that sounds useful. Let's read this. ASA stats is you guys know ASA stats. I use them all the time. It's one of my favorite favorite apps. I actually have the app pulled up on my phone as well as I use it on the desktop. Also, you know what? It's one of the easiest ways to just grab my address when I need it. That's probably not like what they made it for, but it really does work. Anyway, ASA stats, we know about that. After the implementation, the Algorand blockchain users will be able to create transparent references for tax reporting. This proposal implies that the deployment of all the needed data and templates for U.S. citizens' tax reports for free. At the same time, users from the rest of the world will get a foundation for implementation through ASA stats users widget system. So anyway, these ones that we've covered so far, they asked for 20,000 algo. These ones that we've covered so far, they can be they're already funded. You can vote for them, but they're already funded. So you could do it as a show of support. This one needs a little bit more. This is an AVM library for, well, just the introduction of a Coke AVM library. This is coding type stuff. Algorand Foundation Market Operations Dashboard. I think that's kind of cool. Now they're asking for 4,000 algo. They need a lot more votes to pass. But it's a dashboard that monitors the Algorand Foundation market operations in 2023 that updates daily. I think that's a great one. I'm surprised that hasn't passed yet. Let's see, building the future of competitive gaming, grant proposal for a free-to-play blockchain game. They have a name. I develop a third-person shooter game that captivates the gaming community with a captivating story, captivating graphics. Sorry, I'm making fun of it. It's impressive graphics and enjoyable gameplay. Yeah, we'll talk about this more when I talk about my Townstar update / analysis, but I don't think we need more Web3 games. I'll be honest, and I think a lot of people feel that way because you can see that it hasn't gotten very many. Hasn't gotten a lot of votes yet. Has a long ways to go to being funded. I mean, it'd be great if I like games, but well, we need. I want to know what your proposal is to actually make it not suck in terms of market economy. So it's going to be tough to go through all these. There's a lot of them, but we'll go through more. OpenAMM, the automatic implementation of automated market makers with concentrated liquidity. Votecoin, GitHub tools. Not a Boy, Web3 chat by AP. ASA stats offer, Algorand blockchain ASA NFT creators channel. This is by EV, the same person that's behind ASA stats. Its offer represents a proposal to exchange 2 or more ASA between an authenticated Algorand address owner and the owner of any other Algorand address. An authenticated user is a person who has proven ownership of one or multiple Algorand addresses. Algorand SVM chain proposal technical deep dive. Clips offers a roll-ups as a service that developers can deploy customized app chains for their projects without worrying about infrastructure, security, or liability. Share algo plus credit rating. It's a problem. Imagine there exists a cool dApp on Algorand that a user wants to try. Probably less than 1 algo is enough to try the dApp. More than 0 algo is needed for sure. However, the smallest amount a user can on-ramp into Algorand currently is $30. Is that Canadian $30? I don't know what CA means. That is a huge hurdle to a new user who just try a waste even since 1 algo already allows 1,000 transactions. Solution, let's assume for simplicity that each user only needs 1 algo. One user buys $30 worth of algo from a typical credit card on RAM. User keeps $1 for himself, makes the other 29 available to others on chain, etc., etc. Yeah, but 30 algos is like, what's that, like $2 right now? Anyway, they go on. I wanted to show you some of the ones that hadn't applied, but there's a lot to vote on. There is a lot to vote on. They keep going. Well, are there some on here that were from just about everybody in the ecosystem? I mean, I could have put one on here too, I suppose. Oh, this one passed. Algo Wallet Library for Solid.js web apps. So that one's actually on there. I thought they would be moved to the top if they passed, but apparently not. And that's just the mock one for demonstration purposes. So that's Algorand governance, and that's how much work you have to do now to participate in this. That's a lot of proposals. I think a lot of people, myself particularly, I really miss just regular staking. I'm a little sad on Hedera that the simple staking went away. Like I think it's just a lot to ask of users to go through all these proposals. I mean, that took a long time just to kind of read through in the channel. We skipped a lot. Like I could have been reading that for like 20 minutes. So then to actually think about them, spend time to think about them and voting, I don't know. It just seems like a lot. I think you're asking your users a lot. By the way, while you're watching, since we have so many people, I probably won't get to everyone, but super chats are always appreciated, and we'll guarantee that I read your comment on the show. I try to get to everybody, but we're getting a little busier in the old FrugalBC chat here. Everyday Algo says, "Have you seen the Excel stats I put on Algorand forum every day?" I did not know. You should DM me I'm FrugalBC.algo on Twitter. You should DM me a link. And Shana Kianiti says, "Any news on Musk family investment in Dequency app on Algorand?" I haven't heard any of that. No. Would it make Elon interested in Algorand? Yeah, maybe. I don't know anything about that. I'll be 100% honest with you. But I appreciate the chat. All right. So a lot of you know that I play. Well, let me get this pulled up here. So a lot of you guys know that I like to play Townstar, which is on the Gala Games network, has nothing to do with Algorand or HBAR. It's a fun game. I just finished up the Pretend tournament in anticipation of the tournament coming up tomorrow. And they've been doing Mayhem, which there's a lot of games to be played. And it's one of the first play to earn games that I tried. I think as a play to earn game, it's been something of a failure and kind of a lesson for the community. And so we're going to talk about that today. But I still think it's a good game, and I want to talk about the good points of Townstar and some of the challenges, some of the bad points, some of the things that frustrate me about the game, but also why I keep playing it. So we'll go through some of that. So some of the good stuff is for those, just to start off with, for those who don't know, Townstar is basically like a farming game. It's actually developed by the same company that developed Farmville for Facebook and Farmville 2, I think, back in the day. But what's cool about it is it's kind of a cash flow simulator. So you actually play. You not only have to farm and sell crops, but everything costs money to run. So it's a lot like a business simulator where you have to have enough cash flow coming in that to cover all your expenses. So you have to be careful about how you scale your farm. You can't scale too fast or you just run out of money. And it's from that aspect, it's a really good game. It's unique. I can't say I can't find a lot of other games that I point to and say, oh, it's just like this or that. They're trying something different, and I really appreciate that about Townstar. So when I say my criticisms, understand that it comes from a place of starting that this game, the reason I criticize it is because I still play the game because I still think it's a good game and there's a lot of potential there. And I think some of that potential is being wasted by bad management. But to start off with some of the good, the persistent town is now working. So this is a game that you don't just like play it for 10 minutes. It's kind of like, especially if you're doing one of the competitions, you pretty much have to run it the entire time. And if without this new feature that's now on, that means you have to basically keep your computer on. And that's annoying to me. I hate just thinking that I'm wasting all that energy playing a game. Plus, anything that happens, if something happens on your computer, which happens a lot, it just shuts the game down, pauses the game, and then you think you're making progress, and then you're not. Well, the persistent town feature, which is part of the Godot game engine, allows that to keep running, which is really, really cool. It means it runs in the background So you can have your game going while you're away doing something else. You don't have to have it on the whole time. And you can just pull it up to check on it, build new stuff, and then let it run. I think that's a really great. That's one of the biggest features that was supposed to come with the new Godot engine version, which has been live since May. It was live for May Mayhem for everybody. It was earlier for early adopters. So that's a great thing. By the way, this game is completely free to play. If you want to just play it, you don't have to pay any money. You don't have to buy any NFTs to play it, which I really like that aspect as well. Speaking of, it's actually pretty easy to earn free NFTs, especially through the May Mayhem competitions, which went from the beginning of the since the beginning of May to, I think technically we're still in May Mayhem, or it may have just cut off. It's hard to say because they've been having competitions every week, and you can earn by getting in the top 1,200, which is going to be pretty hard if you're a non NFT playing person. Not impossible. I think you could do it without it, but it's pretty tough. But there's a lot of other ways to earn free NFTs. Just for playing, you earn NFTs that help you in the game. You can earn them, and they are sellable. You could go to them on OpenSea, but also you can just use them, which is pretty neat. I actually earned some Gala too, just from their May Mayhem. You just had to complete certain conditions, like you had to sell the meta for that week. There's usually a product that if you sell that product, you get way more points, which helps you do better in the game. So everyone pretty much is going to be building that. You don't have to, but you're going to be significantly behind if you don't. So actually, it's not impossible to earn Gala 2, but you do have to place in the top 1,200, which means you have to be a pretty good player and probably have NFTs to do that. I think you can crack the top 1,200, but probably not much beyond that without NFTs. And like I said, the game's concept is actually really unique and fun. It's just a different kind of game, and I really appreciate that. I'm not much of a first-person shooter type person. I like playing those once in a while, so I think that's great. But definitely don't have any criticisms about the game itself. But now for some of the bad stuff, the things that frustrate me. It is actually barely out of beta. In fact, it's not out of beta. The game has never been out of beta in its entire existence, which has existed for like 3 or 4 years now. It's been around a while as a play to earn game, and then a play to own game, which did not have any earn feature, which we will talk about in a minute. And this is one of the problems that I just have with Web3 games in general. It just seems like there's no incentive to ever finish your game. You can just exist in a beta state, keep minting NFTs, and keep generating money. So what's your incentive to ever finish the game? And that seems to be the case with Townstar. Like, there's been bugs that have persisted since they launched the Godot version that have not been addressed yet. One of the key features in the game is that when you build a building, you usually have to tell it to craft something, and you usually know it has not been turned on because they have little Z's coming out of it, like show that it's sleeping. That does not function properly since May. It's almost September, and they still haven't fixed that bug in the game. It's kind of ridiculous. There's just, in fact, I'd say when they first switched to the new Godot version, it was basically an alpha build. I mean, it was almost non-functional. It was so bad. So that's a big frustration. Earning is still turned off. It has been turned off for over a year now. And we were told originally that the earn would go back on the day that Godot went live, which it did not. It still is not on. They're not even really talking about it. I think there's a new light paper coming in that's supposed to outline how earn will work again. We already had one of those. It was originally you earned in Town Coin, which you could then exchange on some DEX somewhere and get Gala or get US dollars or whatever. They eliminated Town because they realized that was not working. And Town, I think a lot of the industry, I think, learned from this, because the Town economy just collapsed because basically there was nothing you could do with it other than turn it around and flip it for money, which is what most people were doing. Well, when you do that, that's what happens. The chains are really messed up. I have a Gala chain, a Geary. I'm on my account. I have a Gala chain, a Geary chain, and an ETH chain, and how they all interact and work together is still kind of a mystery. So I have Town that I need to convert to Gala, and every time I hit it, it doesn't work. So that's another thing that's really frustrating. There's just too much tech and it doesn't work well with each other, and they really, really need to simplify that. And then I want to talk about the overpriced NFTs because it's just ridiculous how much they're charging for these NFTs, especially when the game functionally is still in beta and has at times been unfunctional. Like it would just freeze for no reason, or you get the spinny ball of death from the Town's version of it. So it'd be a spinning T instead of the spinning beach ball that Mac users are familiar with. Frankly, to be charging hundreds of dollars, or back in the day, thousands of dollars, is just ridiculous. And then one other thing I want to talk about too is the communication. And that kind of goes back to this because when people have complained about some of these things, they usually get shut down in the comments. They're told they're being negative. A lot of people are banned from Discord. Lycan Warlord has been banned from Discord for pointing out the flaws in Townstar's logic. If it was just a free game and they weren't charging anything, fine. But I think then, you kind of leave them alone. But when you have these many flaws with a game that people are paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to play, it's kind of ridiculous to not listen to their complaints, especially when the biggest problem with their communication that I have is that they stood up there when they turned Earn off and acted like they were upset that people ever expected to earn anything on Townstar. Why on earth would you spend thousands of dollars? And I'm not kidding. These NFTs were costing at the time thousands of dollars to buy an NFT to play a farm game on your computer, unless you expected to earn something, which is absolutely what they were selling. And now they tried to turn around after they turn Earn off and say, oh, well, that was never the point anyway. Yeah, give me a break, dude. It's interesting too that all their games that have come out since have had a very different earn mechanism. And also now that the NFTs that you buy don't earn anything anymore. So the only ones that will earn are the old ones. I don't think there are plans for new earning NFTs. I think that's just done. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting. Like I said, I really, really enjoy the game, but I'm also very frustrated on how they approach this, the communication from the team, and just how all these bugs just never seem to get fixed. It's really, really frustrating. I think a lot of players are really frustrated with it. And I hope they improve because I actually really like the game. I have been watching this channel where this guy kind of breaks down all these Web3 games and how bad they are. And a lot of them, I think he's probably right. But he talked about Townstar very briefly and dismissed it. And I was like, actually, I think you missed this one because I actually think it is a pretty good game. It just needs, but it also has a lot of flaws. So I didn't argue my point too strongly because it does have flaws. And I think if they fix those flaws, this could be one of the better play to earn games. That's just my opinion. All right, chat, how you doing? Shana Kianiti says, as far as interoperability between layer 1 blockchains is concerned, why is Quant considered to be more popular than Algorand state proofs solution for interoperability? I don't know, man. You got a lot of questions I don't know. I have not looked a ton into Quant, so I am not 100% sure, to be honest. I appreciate the question. Everyday Algonaut says he sent you a link for that. Cool, very cool. Dustin says, I love to see you staying hydrated. Yep, I do like to stay hydrated. I try not to do it too loudly on screen. All right, well, we're nearing the top of the hour. I got one more that I want to go through. Let me just find... this will take me a second. I was going to show you my own gameplay, but I've been busy. Okay. I can find the official. Sorry, guys. This will just take me a second. A lot of people are playing this game. There's a lot of videos up already. Is this officially Gala Games? I'd hope Gala Games just had some footage up themselves. Oh, I wish I'd taken that footage and sent it to myself. All right, well, I'm going to go through... Okay, so Gala Games, speaking of Gala Games, they just released a new game called Champions Arena. It's a pretty fun game where you have basically 4-on-4 battles. Kind of like an auto battler. You can choose to actively battle, or you can choose to basically just have the game do it itself. And you're basically building up a team of champions and fighting other champions either via either the artificial intelligence or the actual opponents. It's pretty interesting. It's a fun game, and I actually think this might be one of the better Gala games to come out because it actually is functional and working from day one. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to show you Dubstep Rob's channel because I didn't take my own footage. Yeah, so you can see he's in the arena right now, and he's showing how the arena looks. And this is the ranking system. Let me see if I can find the actual gameplay. Yeah, here's what the actual gameplay looks like. This is Dubstep Rob playing here. He's got really great content in terms of Townstar. He actually put together like the guide that pretty much everybody uses in Townstar, as well as now he's been doing a lot of videos on Champions Arena. And so you can see you have your 4 critters, and then you have these cards that come up. You can combine the cards to make more powerful attacks. You can see the animation is really, really good. Like the design looks cool. This is going to sound really weird. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember these, but there used to be a thing called Battle Beasts. And I'm not really sure why, but this just makes me think of Battle Beasts. I don't know why that is. But it works smoothly. Like I haven't found any flaws in the game. You know, it's not the most in-depth game, fair enough. Like it does get a little repetitive. I usually play like 2 or 3 matches. You just like when I'm taking a break from something, I need to stop concentrating for a second. I'll play a couple matches, and then go back to doing what I'm doing. And this is the arena. This is what this looks like. There's like first person, there's like a story mode kind of a thing. It's not really a story, but you play through progressively harder computer opponents. Now minting is a little tricky. You have to buy these gems. I think you can technically win them in the game, but it's really, really hard. So if you want to earn from this game, you will have to buy gems to actually mint one of your champions. And that's what's kind of unique. All the champions, like you can get them on their own that are non-NFTs, but you can also mint them as NFTs. By my estimation, it would cost you about $200 to mint an NFT. I'm not sure how much you would make from that one. Dubstep actually made like $50 some bucks his first day of playing, and then like 40 some the next day. But I think he has a lot of he got on really early in this game, and he earned a lot. You can see you earn rewards for playing the game, just different things, daily rewards, as well as you earn rewards for playing that help you in the game. But actual NFTs, like he said that there's a way to earn, and I think you can slowly but surely earn your way into minting an NFT, but I think it would take a really, really long time. He's got like 40,000 gems right now. I have 0. So But it's a pretty interesting game. I think it's really, really fun. And I'll just stop that one. I would have tried. Actually wouldn't have tried it without Dubstep Rob. So I appreciate him like showing off that game. I think it's really cool. I think it looks like. I think it looks like fun, and I'm excited to keep playing it. I don't know if I'm a little leery because of my experience with Gala games in Townstar. I'm a little leery to put any money into it, but maybe I'll change my mind. We'll see. Maybe as an experiment. I have to look deeper into it. Okay. Tails, welcome to the channel. Tails, spelled Tayles. He says, I've been accumulating at this 9 cents range. It's a good place to accumulate, I think. I really do. I mean, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm definitely accumulating some at this range because I don't think just simply doesn't have too much lower to go. And there's a lot of potential upside. So you can get in pretty low at this rate and have asymmetrical upside. It's pretty hard not to want to buy in. Kurt Rhodes says, I enjoy your content. It sounds like you've been leaning toward HBAR in the recent months and weeks. Welcome. Also, welcome, Kirk. I appreciate you joining the channel, and good to have you here. He says, yeah, I have been. I've been getting more into HBAR lately. I've been trying to do more content on it. My thesis around HBAR is they seem to just have something that these major tech platforms really appreciate. There's something about the DLT technology that they like. I think it has to do with the consensus protocol. It'd be really interesting to ask one of these companies, like, hey, why did you decide to join the governing council? There was an interview with the guy from Dell talking about it, and it sounded like, yeah, basically they just like how the technology works. Chana Kianiti says, what real world use cases are being processed on HBAR for those 19 billion transactions like we have on TravelX NFTs on Algorand? Yeah, what did we just cover? Hold on, let me go back and see, because we just covered something that was really major in that. Well, I'm looking for that, guys. Don't forget that you can sign up. Well, hit the like button. I really appreciate that. It helps other people join the channel. We got 15 likes. Let's see if we can get it up to 20, huh? Appreciate that. Remember, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Join the FrugalBC family here. Drop was a big deal. Drop is like white label digital payments for banks and other institutions. And FedNow just recently adopted Drop, which is built on Hedera's digital ledger technology. We just covered that last week. So I think that's really, really cool. That's what I mean when I'm saying for Algorand and Drop, or Algorand and HBAR, we're seeing like real world adoption cases with what I like to call the boring but important stuff. Like, it's not the stuff that's going to make people excited like games, but it's really, really important background work that just helps the world go around, the new world go around. So that's what I'm all about. Yeah, do apologize for not having footage of Champions Arena. Oh yeah, well that wasn't Chana Kianiti. That was actually from last week's live stream, so I didn't cover that today. Let's see. Well, that is about all the time I have for this live stream, but I appreciate everyone who tuned in, everyone who left a comment, hit the like button. I appreciate that. Yeah, great to have you guys all here. We had a big show. I like this time slot. Maybe I'll start doing this time slot more often, and then just working a little later at my day job. So thanks so much, guys. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Stay safe. Remember, not your keys, not your crypto. I have plenty of stuff that I recommend in the description down below, by the way, including Ledger, which will help keep your assets safe. And as always, I'm FrugalBC, and I will see you in the future.